Welcome back to the Off Cycle. We're continuing on here. I've got the first layer of fillet glass on the stringers. I went ahead and ran in the bottom corners where the fillet is. I ran a layer of CSM in there, chop strand mat, and that's really to get good continuity and good sealing, because the 1708, it doesn't conform well to really tight turns and things like that, so it's really not going to do a good job at sealing. So I'm doing the 1708 has chop strand on the back of it, but it doesn't conform like straight chop strand mat does, especially when you tear it. When I put my strips in there and tear the edges, allows the edges just to conform and lay flat, and just going to do a much better job at sealing and making sure water does not get through there. So that I just finished putting that on there, so we'll go through and take a look at that. See, with just one layer, you really almost can't even tell it's there, but it is. You can see the fibers here, but there is chop strand mat down in the base of all the corner. And then the very back corners, these I did a lot of work, several layers around in the back corners of these stringers at the bottom, with just small pieces of chop strand mat. There's 3 or 4 layers in there just to get a really good seal, because those edges are kind of hard to do and hard to seal out, but I think they're going to be really well sealed now. So my middle stringer up there in the very middle, it really sat down inside the hull. So I did set it in with the construction adhesive, the poly stuff, but I did go ahead and mix up some thickened resin with Cabasol and did a fillet in there to bring it up even higher, because it was really low down in there. So on each side, and that was really only towards the middle of the stringer. That's really all I needed to do. The inside of this hole is just, it looks like absolute crap. It's a disaster. So I just cleaned up the areas that I knew the glass was going to reach, but like all of this stuff right here, that's all old junk, but it's not going to be seen anyway. But I am going to coat the underside of this all with bilge epoxy paint, bilge paint, before I go ahead and put the floor in. But we are coming along. I did also I got the engine mounted on my little outboard engine mount, and I got that fired up, so I was able to just set the power head on the drive shaft housing and the tilt and trim bracket and everything, and just put a couple nuts back on the power head to hold it there, so I could start it. I can't run it for long, but I did hook everything back up, and the original nasty plugs that were in there, they're still in there, and they're working great. The motor fires right up, and it's really idling pretty strong, so I'm pretty confident that the motor is going to work really well for this application. I'm thinking I'm going to get with that 3-cylinder 60 on there, maybe not with the prop that came on it. The prop that came on it was really way too small. It's like almost an inch too small in diameter. It's like a 10 1/4 or something like that, and I think 11 1/8 is really what I need for this motor, especially for this application. But I'm thinking this boat will run near 50 with a 60 horse on it. It is going to be a little heavy because I used wood and everything, but overall the hull itself is pretty heavy. It's pretty thick glass, so it's going to be fairly heavy for a 14-foot boat, but I'm thinking it'll get up around 50 hopefully. So I'll show you guys the firing up of the motor. All right, here'll be the test. I got the power head just sitting back on here so I could mount it just temporarily, and I got all the wiring hooked up, so we'll try to start it. A little bit of starting fluid, and we'll see if it starts. I got some fuel hooked up. I realized, oh shit, this is a Mercury, so my fuel tank for my little Mercury will fit. So I'll just clip that on there, start her up. Runs great, strong, really strong.